Hey, what's up everyone? So today we're going to be installing this Raptor style valance from Mcneil onto the truck. I don't think I saw any videos on how to install a fiberglass Raptor valance. So this is going to be a journey, especially based on how it's looking. It's going to be a little interesting. So I'll figure it out and I'll let you know how I do it. So hopefully when you do it, it's a little easier. All right, here's the valance or the valance or however you say it. I don't really know. But here it is. So this is a Gen 1 Raptor style valance from Mcneil Racing. So I guess I just want to go over a couple things that I've noticed with it that maybe you should note as well. So first of all, it's going to be like a OEM style, but not exactly. I'm pretty sure they just used the OEM valance and then made a mold out of it. And then obviously that's what they use for this. So, you're not going to have any holes for your marker lights. You don't even have any holes in the side here for the fender flares, which use those. Oh, you can see my light. Which use those tabs to attach to the valance. So that's going to be interesting. There's no holes in any of these mounts or any of these tabs that you use for mounting, and they all have this really nasty I don't know, looks like just spackle just got in there, and obviously it's not spackle, it's not drywall, but it looks like spackle just sitting in there. Not really super nice looking, but I guess you won't see this, so it's not that big of a deal. So this came in the same box that my bedsides came in, and there was a little bit of damage. There was a crack. You can actually see it here. Maybe. It's a crack right here. Barely, you can see it. So I reinforced the backside with an epoxy with that. And some damage over here on this edge that I filled with some epoxy. This was all caved in towards the inside of the valance there. But this is going to be hidden by the fender flare, so I wasn't super concerned. And it took me long enough to get this that I was not going to return it. So I figured I'd just make it work, and it should be fine. It has a little bit of a twist or a warp to it. Maybe you can see that. This side's kind of flush with the ground there, while this end is leaning back. So we'll see how that goes, and let me start working on it and I'll show you what I do. All right, so here we are trying to get this thing somewhat lined up and gonna figure out how we're gonna do this. But so one thing, I grabbed a shim, a thin piece of wood here to kind of wedge in there to create some sort of spacing, because my bumper, and I'm assuming if you're doing this, you probably don't have, I think the normal bumper has a little piece of plastic, or excuse me, the normal Valance has a piece of plastic underneath that. So I don't have that. So put a little shim in there to get it all kind of positioned correctly. And I think what I'm going to do next, obviously I got the headlights out as well. I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to line up these tabs. So I'm pretty sure these tabs, these weird looking things, they just slide back into this slot here, and it's kind of it positions it there. When it's positioned there, pressed in and over here, it looks like it's the right depth. So I guess I'll just go ahead and drill those after I confirm that it looks about right. Okay, with a little bit of struggling, I ended up going a different route. I'm not going to do these holes first, because if I'm off, I don't want the edges to be really far off, because maybe as you can see, so I think I got these vice gripped on right now to the fender, and I think things are lining up pretty nicely. But you can see like this is a pretty good angle right here, or a pretty good fitment. I might actually try to like push this back a tad after I'm done recording this. But let's look on this side. This side's looking pretty good too, even better than the other side. These have this kind of weird like line that kind of deviates from the fender, but I'm sure you won't really notice it once it's all the same color. I think the line in the front is acceptable to me. Like I don't want to go any further in, because then I'm gonna be sitting behind this bar here. And as we get to the edge, you can see my bumper kind of tucks in because, you know, it was made for an F-150. So I'm probably gonna have to come here and trim it or something like that, unfortunately. Maybe I'll try to trim it here, but we'll see. So what am I gonna do next? I guess that is a question. I'm gonna try to mark these holes, get everything marked, and then I'll eventually drill. It's gonna be hard to mark these holes in here. Not really sure how I'm gonna do that. I could try to mark from the top somehow, but again, like I can't fit a marker in there or a pen in there or anything like that. So that'll be interesting. Then I'm gonna go through, probably put like a little dab of grease or something on here and push them against the valance to try to mark those holes, because that'll have to get drilled as well. So I'll do that. Oh, and one thing, actually, my first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a heat gun and try to smooth this out, because there is quite a gap there, which that does not look great. You can see kind of rises there. It's ugly. And there's kind of like this like weird dent right here. All right, here's an update. As you can see, I've got some weight on the fiberglass trying to get out that arch that was here. It's still not completely out. I mean, it's hard to say because you know, I made the bumper, so it's definitely not perfect. There's definitely more of a gap there on this valance than the F-150, the OEM F-150 valance I had. I don't know if that's a difference in the Raptor valance or if this is just Mcneil's. You can even see like the kind of cut here is a little uneven. I don't know if that's, you can kind of see it there how that's uneven, but I don't know. Maybe I should have went with a lot of guys get it from like carparts.com. They just get a kind of a cheap OEM replacement, which who knows might have better quality than this. But I think I got it lined up pretty well. I'm gonna leave that weight on overnight, kind of just let it settle, and see if I can get these holes marked. And then once it's settled tomorrow, I'll come back and drill those out and start getting it fitted up. All right, so I went ahead and also marked as best I could all of the holes I don't have to make. There's 2 in here. I marked the most inside one with like a little screw or a little nail I put in there just to scrape around. Hopefully that shows up. And then I tried to take some grease, and there's this inside, I guess a little like washer thing or a nut thing, and I put it in there. Try to pack some grease in there so hopefully it transfers down to this. And then lastly, I put grease on these little tabs on the tips and then pushed them into the fiberglass there. And I'm going to come back and score that with either a nail or something like that and to mark it. Okay, so I got the holes drilled from the marks that I made. You can see them here. I used 1/4 inch holes here and 3/8 inch here. As you can see, like there's not a lot of meat here, so that's a little concerning for like strength wise, but it's what I gotta do, I guess. I'll be using the factory hardware that I took off when I removed when I took off the old valance. So I guess that's the next step. Just get it all lined up, bolted in, and yeah, we'll start moving forward. All right, here it is, basically done. I guess from my first impressions, this was easier than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be kind of a pain because none of the holes were drilled and all that kind of stuff, but it ended up being all right. I still need to, I need to buy new clips because when I pulled the fender flare off, this is like not OEM Ford, but so basically when I pulled this fender off, all of the clips snapped, so I got to go pick up some new ones. But other than that, it's all installed as much as I need it to be, and fit and finish is okay. It's honestly pretty good on this side with the headlight, and I was able to get the edge pretty good, so not bad. But then if you go to the driver's side, there's a pretty substantial gap here on this side. So I don't know why. This was also the side that was warped a little bit, so maybe that's what had something to do with that. But I also got the edge good on this side too. So to me, that was like the most important part, was getting both sides looking good. So yeah, it looks great from 5 or 10 feet away, and as you get closer, you see more imperfections and stuff like that. But hopefully, either a wrap or a paint job or something will hide all of those little imperfections a little bit better. So just a couple things that I'm going to do next. One is get a grill put in, but also I'm going to have to trim this, trim the bumper a little bit, make it a little stubbier, because obviously it's not following the contour of the truck anymore. So that's a little bit annoying, but I kind of knew that. I kind of expected that, obviously. So not a big deal. I'll cut that off, cap it, make it kind of a stubby, and it should be good. The gap is still a little bit more than I thought it would be, and it kind of is drooping a tiny bit there. So maybe I will, when I mess with the bumper and repaint it and stuff, maybe I'll put like a little support in there that would kind of lift this fiberglass piece up a tad. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. I am by no means an expert on anything fiberglass or really anything I do. I'm just trying to figure it out. So I was pretty intimidated or unsure when I started working on the Valence, but I think it's pretty easy to handle. There might be some easier options to pursue, like going something that's more OEM. That might be a little bit easier. You might honestly get a better finish than I did. Overall, I think I still probably would get it from Mcneil because shipping's crazy right now, and I got it all shipped in the same bundle, so it was all like the same price. So if you're buying this from an outside source, you're obviously going to pay shipping on that item alone. So let me know if you have any questions, and hopefully if you're trying to do this, it makes it a little bit easier.